This podcast is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Tom, we were just talking about some NFL guys, and we'll start with where we just were with Brandon Allen. Seems like he's been on a roster of some sort for quite some time. What have you thought about BA's kind of staying power in the NFL and how he continues to just play in the National Football League?
Yeah, good morning, guys. He's just a tribute to being a good team guy, knowing systems, being supportive, and all that stuff. I remember he was out for the coin toss for the Bengals a couple of years ago, right? So, yeah, he's going to get his NFL pension. I suppose I think he's hit that threshold, and it's been really good to see him. I mean, it's been sporadic, real playing time, but I know he got a win with the Broncos one day when like three guys surnamed Allen all started and maybe won football games on the same day.
Yeah, that was I remember that day. That was pretty cool. And guessing for Bobby Allen, that was one of the coolest things that he's had to experience as a father. So again, Hogs making some headlines in NFL preseason. We'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. Tom, I do want to talk about Sam Pittman at the Little Rock Touchdown Club yesterday. Very lighthearted and stuff. And it is a bandwagon Tuesday. He's trying to get some people back on the bandwagon. If you're looking at Arkansas and what you've seen in fall camp, what you'll maybe hear and see in practice in the coming weeks, what are you pretty strong? What are you bullish on the idea of Arkansas in a positive way heading into this upcoming season?
Well, I guess I'll go with what Marcus Woodson talked about last week, which was the depth in the linebacking core, which is pretty amazing to think after all the losses they had there that, you know, Brad Spence will come up and be a big contributor as a sophomore, it looks like. And then they brought in Sorey and Steven Dixon we talked to last night. And it looks like Anthony Switzer might play some linebacker. And I hope it works out for them that all these guys who are going to be hybrid type positions, you know, know their assignments at each of these positions and can be productive players. Switzer comes to mind as a guy who's been mostly a DB his entire career, but, you know, they're playing him some at linebacker. And I think they're doing it for multiple reasons. One of them is to withstand injuries if you have them, and then just be multiple in the way you take on different defenses. I think they've understood that the way Missouri and Auburn ran the ball on them last year, they've got to hold the edges stronger. And this buck position could come into play there where it might be harder to get past the edge. On the Arkansas defense, we'll see how it plays out, but I would say linebacker is the position I would say there.
Tom, you brought up Anton Junkaj and Steven Dix, who we heard from last night. Junkaj kid led the FCS in sacks last year. I know he's not as heralded as some of the other guys because they've been mainstays or they've been around for a little bit, but Landon Jackson can't be the only one sacking the quarterback. What have you thought about him and the few glimpses you've got of him this offseason?
Right, and of course we haven't seen any of the scrimmages, but they say he's a real powerful guy. Clearly he's got some moves. How his game will project from Albany on the FCS level up to Arkansas is, you know, remains to be seen. But after that scrimmage, and this is after Junkaj had been out for a week with a concussion, Sam Pittman saying he's in a battle with Nico. So, I mean, that goes to tell you what they're thinking of what he might be able to contribute. Nico DeValier, of course. So you're right. Landon Jackson can't be the only guy. He got 6.5 sacks last year. You know, can he up that total? And can they get it? Can they get it from linebackers? Can they get it from blitzing safeties and then other guys like Junkaj? So, you know, I think their D-line might be a little bit sneaky deep this year, particularly if they can get some production at the tackle spots behind Cam Ball and Eric Gregory with guys like Kiwi Rose and Ian Griffard.
Tom Murphy with us, brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Patrick Kutas, what's going on with him, and do you think there's any chance he misses game one against UAPB?
Well, when you've missed this long with a back situation, there's got to be a chance that you're not going to be ready for the opener. Sam's kind of slow played his responses on Kutas, and I think they're preparing Marion Harris to be able to start if need be. And, you know, he filled in very admirably in that bowl game against Kansas, and that was 2 years ago, and then kind of bided his time. But I think it was Eric Mateos who said, when guys hit their third year, it's time for them to start contributing because they're feeling that. And I think Nico DeValier on the other side of the ball is in that same position. Third year, it's like I get the system. I've built up now. It's time to start contributing. And hopefully, if Kudus is not able to run, that Emarion Harris will be a guy that you really don't notice that he's in there doing his job. And, that's the best thing about linemen. When they're doing their job, you don't notice them that much, or they're having some nice kick-out blocks.
I know you were paying close attention to Sam Pittman's words yesterday in Little Rock as he met with the Touchdown Club. What were your takeaways? He was, I guess, jovial. He was lighthearted and cracking some jokes, poking at his wardrobe a little bit yesterday. What were your takeaways from his 20-plus minute address to boosters in Little Rock yesterday?
Yeah, I heard about that with the belt and all that. And David Basil's such a good guy, and I think he kind of helps create an atmosphere, David, and being a good MC. And I mean, there's no sense in being stern and too serious about the situation. I mean, he knows they've got to win football games this year, and I think trying to be as open as you can about understanding that, and it just means a lot to Sam Pittman. And I say that sometimes on here. It means a lot. He wants people in the state to be proud, and when they were winning in 21, he's like, people can stick their chest out and go out and get their Sunday paper and be happy about what they're about to read about the Hogs. So they've done what they thought needed to be done. Influx of talent. Infusing some confidence and leadership in the locker room and camaraderie, and they've got to hope that pays off on the field. I mean, when you do the calculus of it, if they win closer games, they have a much better record last year, and if your team is more together, you have a better chance to win closer games. So, yeah, the belt, a little bit of a belt situation, and I think Baz helped him out there, and we'll be talking to him up here on Wednesday as well.
Tom, last thing, we got about a minute, man. Marquise Robinson, the kid from South Alabama, also heard from him recently. He actually was on that South Alabama Jaguars team that went into Stillwater and whooped their tail last year.
Yeah.
Is there anything that he can help out the team with? He kind of shared a thing or two the other night.
Well, I think he can, certainly with depth. I mean, Braxton is, I think people look on as their kind of lead corner, but Marquise Robinson has played at a good level. He had a pick in that Oklahoma State game. And I think when you add Keon Stewart and Jaheim Singletary to the mix, I mean, Singletary is a former 5-star. Then you've got the makings of a little bit of depth at corner if each of them can contribute, and they don't have to play 60, 70 snaps a game. And I do think you'll see some mixing and matching at the corner spots this year.
Tom, we'll leave it there, man. We appreciate your time as always, and we'll chat later on Thursday in the final time in that time slot before we change times next week.
All right. Sounds good. See ya.
All right, Tom Murphy with us.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.